world engage in a simple but powerful ritual. Each evening for a total of 7 weeks, 49 nights, we recite a formula that marks the counting of each day. Today is day 1 of the Omer. Today is day 2 of the Omer. Most significant to this ritual is that we count up rather than count down. These are not days we mark off the calendar, but rather days we accumulate, as if to say, what lies ahead is brighter than what came before. The counting from redemption to revelation is a reminder that freedom is not enough. We were given freedom not for its own sake, but so we could do something with that freedom. Worship the God we believed in. Care for the orphan, the widow, and the stranger. Pursue justice, not to put a stumbling block before the blind, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. We as Americans also have been granted freedom by our Creator and our Constitution and by the Bill of Rights. But freedom is not enough. If we don't do something with that freedom, if we don't fight for that freedom, if we don't protect that freedom for everyone, for all of us. Care for the orphan, the widow, and the stranger. Pursue justice, not to put a stumbling block before the blind, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. So I invite into our presence the God of freedom, the God who gave us the agency to count upwards and march forward, the God who helps us imagine the world as it could be. God, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were ever taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, creator of all living things. Thank you for the gift of freedom.
Elon Musk and Donald Trump and the Republicans, they want to take a chainsaw to Medicaid. They want to take a chainsaw to Social Security. They want to take a chainsaw to Medicare. But let me be clear, we're going to take a chainsaw to Project 2025.
Where's Elon Musk? I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so eminent, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security.
So to Trump and to Elon Musk, I have 5 words. Hands off our Social Security! Hands off our Social Security!
Mr. Talcove, do you know how much money a day Mr. Musk will receive from the federal government for his contracts?
No.
The answer is $8 million a day. Just last year, Elon Musk was promised $3 billion from close to 100 contracts with the federal government. Ms. Royal, do you know how much the average person in this country who survives on Social Security, one of our seniors who's worked their entire life, about how much they have to survive on a day?
I do not.
$65 a day. We're not looking into Elon Musk's $8 million a day. This subcommittee, chaired by Marjorie Taylor Greene and the House Republicans, is looking into your grandmother's $65 a day.
When they told us to just lay down and take it, what did we do? We fought back, and here we are in their faces.
You are not just saying hands off. You're not just standing up for your family and your community. You are the patriots standing up for our country. This is all about all of us versus the billionaire class and the politicians that they have purchased.
On the campaign trail, President Trump promised to protect your hard-earned Social Security benefits. However, now he has sent trickster Elon Musk and his flim-flam government agency Doge after the Social Security database. While courts across our country step in to try and stop Doge, its destabilization continues at an alarming rate. And I'm concerned Elon Musk wants to privatize Social Security, and he, through his new computer company that he just bought, is going to try to be paid by the government to manage those accounts.
Well, we all know that we're living in some dark times. We see the foundations of our society, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the very safety nets that people have fought for generations to ensure that our country lives up to its promise, are being targeted by the billionaires and the oligarchs and the corporations.
If we don't protect Medicaid, it will be catastrophic. Over 80 million people in this country rely on Medicaid for their health care. 3 million of them are in Pennsylvania. 110,000 of them in my district.
House Democrats led and had a day of action yesterday where over 150 members participated, where we called attention to Medicaid and the importance of Medicaid in our communities.
The president chose to take actions that he didn't even have the authority to take. He's put our economy in disarray and near collapse. We have small businesses and Americans who are concerned about their well-being, people's retirement, people's 529 accounts went down because of this administration. We have people that are planning to send their kids to college this fall. People who are retiring whose benefits have declined. Is this market manipulation?
No.
Why not? If it was a plan, if it was always the plan, how is this not market manipulation?
It's not market manipulation, sir.
Well, then what is it? Because it sure is not a strategy.
Hands off our Social Security. Hands off our Medicaid. Hands off Medicare. Hands off SNAP. Hands off our kids. Hands off women's rights. Hands off LGBTQ rights.
And we're going to do everything that we need to do.
Thank you, sir.
It's an all-hands-on-deck effort.
Yeah.
We're going to fight on your behalf in the Congress.
Yeah.
We're fighting on your behalf in the courts.
Yeah.
And we're going to make sure we do what we need to do in the community.
Yeah.
Because they want us to step back. We're here to push back.
Yeah.
We're here to push back on your behalf.
Yeah.
Thankful for your dignity. Thankful for your determination. Thankful for all that you do.
Yeah.
For the children of America.
Yes, sir.
The families of America.
Yeah.
The seniors of America.
Yeah.
The Social Security recipients of America. The Medicare recipients of America.
Yeah.
The veterans of America. And so many others.
Yeah.
We will not abandon you in your hour of need.
Yeah.
Because we are you.
Yeah.
And you are us.
Yeah.
The American people.
Yeah.
Please welcome to the stage Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Right at the top, let me make one thing clear. The Trump administration has been a disaster. 100 years, 100 days in, Donald Trump and Elon Musk have failed to make your life more affordable. They failed to make you safer. They failed to make us more respected around the world. But their biggest failure is this: they have failed to appreciate the strength of the American people. During the dawn of the Republic, it was once observed that when people fear the government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. Donald Trump and Republicans thought they could shock and awe us into submission. They thought we would be too complacent to stand up for liberty and justice for all. They thought we would walk away from the principle of equal protection under the law. They thought wrong. They thought wrong. They thought wrong. Trump's unconstitutional assault on the American way of life is unprecedented. But the so-called dictator on day one is learning an important lesson. Americans don't bend the knee to bullies. In the face of tyranny, we join together. In the face of tyranny, we rise up together. In the face of tyranny, we get into some good trouble together. And we're just getting started. 100 days in, Donald Trump has the lowest approval rating of any president in modern American history. 100 days in, voters have elected Democrats in Republican-held districts all across the country, including in Iowa and Pennsylvania. 100 days in, Elon Musk spent $25 million to buy a state Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin and lost by double digits. 100 days in, more than 200 different lawsuits have been filed against the unconstitutional and unlawful executive orders of Donald Trump. And the American people are winning in court. 100 days in, principled opposition to Republican extremism is taking shape from sea to shining sea. The American people are rising up and making it clear that the Trump administration has a lot to fear. When my oldest son, JJ, was 9 years old, he played travel baseball with a group of his friends. Many of you know that travel sports can be taxing on the schedule. It's a labor of love for our children. During the season, it seems like almost every weekend, for several months, you're on the road. And so this one particular Memorial Day weekend, JJ had a baseball tournament in a little town off the beaten path somewhere in the Northeast. Travel sports can take you to some interesting places. I decided to make it a road trip and bring my youngest son, Joshua, with us. He was just 6 years old at the time. And so I said to him, he's going to come on this trip and it'll be like a vacation. What did I say that for, y'all? When I mentioned vacation, he had visions of Atlantis. So we pulled up to the motel where we were staying, and the situation was a bit shaky. My 6-year-old son looked at the motel, looked at me, looked at the motel, looked at me, and said, "Dad, is this where we're staying?" I said, "Yes, Joshua. Why do you ask?" He responded, "Oh my God, Dad, this is a debacle." 6 years old, I looked at him and said, "What does the word debacle mean?" He responded quickly. He said, "I don't know, Dad. It's something bad." This is the moment we are in right now in the United States of America, with Donald Trump and the Republicans in charge. Crashing the economy is something bad. Destroying Medicaid as we know it is something bad. Taking a chainsaw to Social Security is something bad. Raising costs on hard-working American taxpayers is something bad. Firing federal workers, including thousands of veterans who served this country, is something bad. Canceling medical research for children with cancer is something bad. Destroying the retirement accounts of everyday Americans is something bad. Trying to whitewash the most painful parts of our history is something bad. Targeting law-abiding immigrant families is something bad. Undermining the rule of law is something bad. The first 100 days of the Trump administration have been a debacle. Enough. Enough. America is better than this. When the new Congress began in January, Democrats were prepared to get to work in a bipartisan way. The Trump administration chose a different path. Far-right Republicans are tearing America apart, targeting our democratic way of life, and tarnishing our reputation as the land of the free. It is wrong, and we will continue to push back aggressively. Donald Trump and the Republicans in Congress have given us 100 days of chaos, 100 days of cruelty, and 100 days of corrupt behavior. That is not constructive leadership. It's a recipe for disaster. The American people deserve common sense leadership. The American people deserve compassionate leadership. The American people deserve courageous leadership that changes things for the better. Our message to the American people is simple. We hear you, we see you, we feel you. Democrats are determined to make life better for you. Donald Trump and his sycophants spent yesterday bragging about the speed with which they've moved during these first 100 days. They're right. Never has a president failed so spectacularly, so often, so quickly as Donald Trump. The White House referred to its strategy for the first 100 days as shock and awe. Well, they're half right. It is shocking how rapidly this administration collapsed into chaos, cruelty, and corruption. It's shocking how quickly MAGA Republicans turned their backs on working-class Americans. It is shocking how spineless Republicans have been in the United States Congress. And it is shocking and tragic and infuriating how much damage Donald Trump and the Republican Party's policies have already done. Here's the thing. They expected us to step back, but the American people are here to fight back. On the campaign trail, Donald Trump promised to end inflation. He promised to lower costs on day one. When he was asking for your vote, Donald Trump told you he would make life more affordable for everyday Americans. Now that he's in office, it's a different story. In March, President Trump was asked if he was worried that car prices would go up because of his tariffs. His reply, I couldn't care less. The cost of living in the United States is too high, America is too expensive, and Donald Trump couldn't care less. He couldn't care less that housing costs are too high. He couldn't care less that grocery costs are too high. He couldn't care less that child care costs are too high. He couldn't care less that health insurance costs are too high. He couldn't care less that utility costs are too high. Donald Trump couldn't care less. Prices everywhere are too high, and Donald Trump couldn't care less. 100 days in, Donald Trump is making life harder for you and your family. And every day, his costly tariffs stay in place. life in America gets more expensive. American families will pay thousands of dollars more per year. Small businesses are shutting down. Corporations are not hiring. Businesses are unable to invest because of the uncertainty that has been created. Inflation is on the rise, life is getting more expensive, and the reckless economic policies of Donald Trump and House Republicans are driving us toward a recession. Republicans in Congress could put a stop to this insanity at any time. Since they won't, next November, we will. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Which brings me to Elon Musk. I knew he would get that reaction. We all agree that government should be more efficient. But like most things in life, there's the American way, and then there's the cruel way. 100 days in, it's clear that DOGE is not the American way. Canceling medical research for children with cancer is cruel. Denying relief for communities reeling from natural disasters is cruel. Firing thousands of our veterans, like Joseph Quintanilla of Virginia, who served this country in the Marines, is cruel. But their cruelty doesn't stop there. Republicans actually believe that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, and they want to take a chainsaw to it. During the first 100 days of the Trump administration, Social Security has faced an unprecedented attack. Social Security offices have been closed, wait times have dramatically increased, and people are being denied access to benefits that they have earned. Republicans continue to insist that Social Security is an entitlement program. They think they are entitled to destroy it. When I was 15 years old, I got my working papers and secured my first job. I was a messenger dropping off packages from office building to office building in Midtown Manhattan. My salary was $3.35 per hour. That was the minimum wage back in the day. And I thought that I had made it big. Particularly upon learning that as a high school student who worked part-time, I wouldn't have to pay any income tax. So I couldn't wait to get my first check. On a piece of paper, I multiplied $3.35 by the number of hours I expected to work during my first pay period. I figured out the total, and in my mind, that money was already spent. I couldn't wait to go to Albee Square Mall in downtown Brooklyn and get some new sneakers so I could dress like Run DMC. But then the check came, and some money was missing. I had two questions, y'all. Who is FICA? And why is he taking my money? Here's what I learned. All of us pay the FICA tax in connection with Social Security and Medicare. We pay the FICA tax on our first job. We pay the FICA tax on our last job. We pay the FICA tax on every single job we have throughout our lifetime. Social Security and Medicare are not entitlement programs, they are earned benefits. Earned benefits. You work hard for those benefits, pay into those benefits, and deserve those benefits. They are earned benefits. Democrats will make sure that Donald Trump and House Republicans keep their hands off your Social Security and your Medicare. Hands off today, hands off tomorrow, hands off this week, hands off next week, hands off this month, hands off next month, hands off this year, hands off next year, hands off Social Security and Medicare forever. 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 Now, if this administration actually had some common sense, it would look at the damage that it's done, the rejection from the people, the historic unpopularity of this president, and they would change course. But Donald Trump is doubling down. And instead of being a check and balance on this president's abuse of power, Republicans in Congress are nothing more than a rubber stamp for his extreme agenda. Recently, I met a woman named Mary Beth. She lives in Canton, North Carolina, a town of 4,400 people that is still rebuilding from Hurricane Helene. She has custody of her 4 grandchildren, ages 10, 12, 15, and 16. Their parents can no longer care for them due to addiction, domestic violence, and homelessness. The moment you talk to Mary Beth, you know that caring for those grandkids is everything. And she's doing it on a fixed income, working part-time, making $8 an hour at a coin laundry. And is no longer employed. To supplement the disability support that she had received. Mary Beth has had, at times, to skip refilling her prescriptions to make sure her grandkids don't have to skip any meals. Medicaid is the only reason her grandchildren are able to see a doctor, including the youngest, who is dealing with ADHD and autism. Mary Beth works hard, loves her family, and is a patriotic American. And Mary Beth is here with us today. But her family, just like millions of others throughout America, is now at risk of losing their health care. Why? Republicans are trying to slash Medicaid by up to $880 billion, the largest health care cut in American history. And why are Republicans trying to rip health care away from working people, from Americans with disabilities, from children, from grandmothers like Mary Beth, so that they can give their billionaire donors like Elon Musk another tax cut? These health care cuts will hurt families, hurt women, hurt children, hurt veterans, hurt seniors, and hurt disabled Americans. Hospitals will close. Nursing homes will shut down. And people will die. Here's the thing, in the United States of America, this is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Healthcare is not a privilege. Healthcare is a right for every single American. For every single American. If we were in the majority right now, none of this would be happening. But even in the minority, we are going to do everything we can to protect the health care of the American people. And we'll keep reminding our Republican colleagues, especially the ones who vote like extremists, but then go home and pretend to be moderates when it's time to run for re-election, that the people are watching. It's time for Republicans in Congress to stop being a rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda. You don't work for Donald Trump. You don't work for Elon Musk. You don't work for the far-right extremists. You work for the American people. As Democrats, we will fight as hard as we can, over the next 2 years to stop bad things from happening. We will protect our system of free and fair elections, and then work hard to convince the American people to entrust us with the majority next November. At that point, we will be able to do much, much more for you. We will build an affordable economy that works for everyday Americans. We will confront the climate crisis with the fierce urgency of now. We will block any budget that goes after your Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. And we will hold the Trump administration accountable for its corrupt abuse of power. Over these next 100 days, House Democrats are going to lay out a blueprint for a better America. And you will see a vision for this country's future that isn't about Donald Trump. It's all about you. All about you. How can we make your life better? How can we put more money in your pocket? How can we lower your costs? How can we help you give your kids the future they deserve? These are the questions we are thinking about each and every day. Now, the American dream isn't about getting something for nothing. You have to work for it. But if you work hard and play by the rules, here's what you should be able to have: a good paying job, an affordable home, high quality health care, education for your children, and the ability to retire with grace and with dignity. That's the American dream. That's the American dream. That's the American dream. And when we're back in charge, that's what we will fight hard to deliver for you. In January, late January, I had the opportunity to visit the Altadena community in Los Angeles County that was devastated by the wildfires. I met someone named Jackie Jacobs, an amazing 88-year-old woman who was raised in the Jim Crow South before moving to California. Her home was tragically burned to the ground. She and her husband, David, who have been married for more than 50 years, barely managed to escape the raging wildfires. All they had was the clothing on their backs. They lost everything. Photos gone, possessions gone, property gone. But the first thing Mrs. Jacobs said to us while touring the devastation was that she gave all glory and all praise, all honor to Almighty God, just as the scripture teaches us. She believed that things would work out. Several of us teared up. Miss Jacobs lost everything, but she never lost her faith. She never lost her faith. Republicans have shown that their recipe for governing is chaos, cruelty, and corruption. These first 100 days have not been easy. Everything we care about is under assault. The economy is under assault. Health care is under assault. Social Security is under assault. Veterans are under assault. Farmers are under assault. The right to organize is under assault. Public schools are under assault. The American way of life is under assault. Democracy itself is under assault. Everything we care about is under assault. But just like Mrs. Jacobs, we must never lose faith. We must never lose faith. Faith in our community, faith in our country, faith in a brighter future, faith in Almighty God. America is a resilient nation. We are a resilient people. We have a resilient Constitution. We will never give up. We will never give in. We will always show up. We will always speak up. We will always stand up. We will continue our march toward a more perfect union. We will not rest until we end this national nightmare and deliver in America with liberty and justice for all. God bless you. God bless our troops. May God continue to bless the United States of America.